Hi, how y'all doing? It's been a while, more than 120 days since I last posted, and I suck at math, so I'm not gonna try to calculate how many months that is. Probably four-ish months. I'm back. I'm back now. And this is going to be a chatty get ready with me video so I can update you on where the fuck I've been, frankly, what's been going on with me, why I've went missing for so long. So it's basically just gonna be a very gossipy cup of tea, coffee, milkshake, whatever you enjoy between friends. I'm just gonna tell you why the hell I've been MIA. Get it? MIA, pun very intended. Let's just get to it. Let's just catch up. And I would love it if in the comments down below you would tell me what you've been up to since we haven't last, connected. I would really like to hear updates from you and your life and what you've been doing. So yeah. I will probably hate the footage of this video when it's done, but I'm trying to work on being less perfectionist and just create. I'm actually going out now, so I'm going to start with SPF, and this is the Burrito Daily to go to sunscreen with 50 SPF. So what happened, my darlings, is that I had turned into a complete state of a human being. You guys know me for a while. You might remember that I have been battling with a big sad for quite a long time, aka depression. I have periods where I am incredibly depressed and can barely get out of bed to be a functional human being, and I've got periods where I feel like half of a normal person. And unfortunately, one of those big depressive periods hit me around the end of last year because a lot of shit happened. It was the anniversary of my grandmother's death, and that made me confront a lot of hard feelings to deal with. Then Grandpa Cat died, and with that died the last vestiges of my childhood, basically, and I miss him a lot. Then I had some other interpersonal issues that I'm not gonna get into because I don't air my dirty laundry in public without the other party's consent. And then I started going to therapy again. I'm going to apply the Kind and Free base from Rimmel and the concealer from the same range and the powder, which I've been really enjoying. I bought them because of Robert Welsh. Was it James? I think James is like the skincare twin and Robert is the makeup twin. But yeah, I've been really, I forgot primer, doesn't matter. The SPF will act as primer, I don't care. I've been really enjoying these. These are so flawless and so like good value per money because it's like at a decent drugstore price, and yet it looks so high end. So I went back to therapy. I had a stint with therapy like a couple of years ago where we mostly talked about family trauma, and that was well and good, but I didn't feel that it helped me heal. It just put some things into perspective for me, right? Like it just validated some of the traumatic experiences that I went through with my own family. Because what happened is that my grandmother started developing dementia and Alzheimer's, and because of the confusion that was going on in her brain, like at the time I was living with her, and she would just be very nasty towards me. My mother, that lived separately from us with her husband, she didn't quite believe me when I was saying that grandma's gone off the rails because, well, she knew how her mother was like, right? And then I was also in my teen years, so she thought I was just growing pangs. She's being a difficult teen, mom is trying her best, she's old, she's losing patience, whatever. So that caused a whole kerfuffle that I had to like unpack in therapy to leave space for forgiveness and for moving on forward with my life. So that was mostly what was discussed at the time, like my family trauma, my abandonment issues, stuff like that, but just just discussing them sometimes like isn't enough. Just acknowledging a thing isn't enough, because you can acknowledge, oh, there's a leak in my bathroom, but if you don't patch the leak, it's just gonna keep on fucking up your bathroom, you know what I mean? I took a break because it was quite distressing for me to just rehash over and over again the shit that happened in my family. And then, as I said, at the end of the year, I started feeling worse and worse and worse again. So I switched therapists to this wonderful angel of a woman that I've been going to for like 6 months total now, and I swear she made me a new person. We didn't focus as much on family issues, we focused on how I view and how I treat myself. And at our very first meeting, she figured out that I might be neurospicy. And then I had an assessment, and whoo boy, am I neurospicy. Neurodivergent, for people that don't go in these circles. The thing is that a part of what was causing my depression and my burnout was that I basically taught myself how to human. I was so very good at masking that people can't tell unless I'm tired and can't put up with just, excuse you, with being a person. But that was very exhausting. Very, very exhausting. And it was basically tearing me apart, because with that high level of masking came a high level of perfectionism. And the perfectionism, again, was fucking me up because it was fucking with my self-esteem. So we identified that and started moving forwards to coping mechanisms, as well as what was making me be so hard on myself. So we did a lot of inner child and inner parent work, and all of this psychological work that I did on myself basically kind of occupied all of my mental energy. All I've done mostly these past couple of months has been work on my mind, try to work out, work, you know, for the capitalist overlords so I can like eat and buy shiny stuff for myself. Lately what I've been liking to do is applying under eye powder with like my finger. It's not quite kosher, but it works and I don't care. I forgot my eye primer in the other room, so I'm just gonna apply concealer on the lids as well and be a true beauty YouTuber girly that uses concealer as primer. Okay, so anyway, I did a lot of inner child and inner parent working, and I wanted to talk about this because maybe it might be useful for someone else. Because I see inner child work being discussed a lot on Twitter, on the internet, in these types of circles, right? But I don't see inner parent being discussed. So the dynamic is as follows. For every inner child that you have, every maligned, every upset, every sad, whatever inner child you have an inner parent. And the inner parent is basically the voice that guides and upsets that inner child. So for example, one of my biggest issues is that I have a very, I don't know if it's a word in English, exigent, a very stern, tiger mom type of inner parent that basically demands of me perfectionism. If I don't do something perfect, then it doesn't matter. That if I fail, then I'm nothing. That if I don't do my best in everything, then what's even the point? And that just kind of upset my inner child, one of my inner children, because there's like more, you can kind of like divide them by issues that you have. And that upset an inner child of mine that is quite low in self-esteem and that had its curiosity and its joie de vivre, sorry for the pronunciation, squashed by these demands that you can't just meet them all the time. You can't be perfect all the time because you will burn out. So I was stuck in this cycle of trying to do everything perfectly, masking perfectly, doing my job perfectly, doing my hobbies that brought me joy perfectly, or else I wouldn't do them at all, and then I would burn out. It would make me depressed because I would feel useless. I couldn't get any joy out of my, I just feel some cat hairs on my face. I couldn't feel joy unless I was doing things perfectly. Then I would get a bout of energy, rinse and repeat, and it was making me miserable. I'm going to be using the Nabla Soul Blooming because I haven't used her in a while and I just want to go back to things that I used to love, and the dress that I want to wear is pink, so this kind of matches the situation there. So I had to do a lot of work on shutting up this very nasty parent in my mind. I don't know where the fuck it began, because my mom, she's super cool. She never expected perfection of me. God knows how it started. I've discussed this in therapy as well, and we have multiple theories about where it originated, but I don't want to get into that right now. Anyway, so I had to learn to shut up this parent and just tell to myself, it's fine if I do my hobby just halfway. It's fine if things don't come up perfect, because practicing isn't doing things perfectly over and over and over again just so they can be more perfect. It doesn't work that way. To practice your hobby and to enjoy your hobby, you need to do things imperfectly multiple times. And my neurospicy brain just couldn't get that. It couldn't get that practicing doesn't mean doing it over and over again. It just means failing at it over and over again in many different ways. And to be able to enjoy the things that you want to do, you need to get comfortable with failing. Very hard lesson to learn, and a very hard lesson to internalize. It 3/4 of the time I managed to talk myself out of into thinking like that, and another 1/4 of the time I'm not that successful, but it's a work in progress. And that helped me start doing my other hobbies again. It started helping me draw again. It started helping me do sports properly again, because I had several injuries, and whenever I would start working out properly again, I would feel discouraged because I would remember the very cool and amazing things that I used to do and now I can't do anymore. So that got me discouraged and depressed. But the more I told myself it's okay to fail, it's okay if you just show up, do a little bit, practicing isn't being perfect, you just need to do something, the more it kind of fixed my executive dysfunction regarding those things, because I moved the goalposts. I moved the goalposts from finishing it and doing it perfectly and it involving hours and a lot of effort on my part to just a little bit. And a little bit I can do. I can do the first step. If I take the first step, then it would be fine. Moving the goalposts to it being fine just as a first step, it was life-changing for me. So yeah, that took months of my life to figure out. And I dare say I'm lucky, like my therapist said, that I'm lucky that I just kind of did the changes that I did so quickly, because other people it takes years. But yeah, it took me months. And the issue was that it was starting to affect YouTube as well, right? Because it's a hobby, it's a thing that brings me pleasure. But it was starting to affect YouTube as well, because if I don't edit things perfectly, if I don't make my point perfectly, if I don't post as often as I should be doing, what's the point? Even though it's just a hobby, it's not my job, I don't need to be perfect at it. So it's just, and the more time passed, the harder it became to get back to YouTube, until I finally got the mindset that I just need to show up. It doesn't matter if I think my face looks ugly when I edit. It doesn't matter if the editing isn't perfect. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't. As long as it's good enough, it's going to be fine. Nobody analyzes my face on YouTube as much as I do. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Literally nobody cares. And the people that care clearly have worse things going on in their lives if they care so much about a complete stranger on YouTube, that I don't know, that my under eye bag looks somewhere, or that I get a double chin from whatever angle. It's just that it doesn't matter that much anymore, or at least I try for it to not matter that much, because the more I tell myself it doesn't matter, it doesn't truly matter, the more I convince myself. But as I said, it's a lot of a work in progress type of thing. So yeah, that was exhausting. But now that I'm kind of, I'm not healed, I wouldn't say healed, but now that I'm better and I have all of the tools that I need to keep myself on a floating point, like now that I am more gentle with myself. Now that I know that the behaviors that I'm exhibiting, the patterns, the script making, the either or, the burnout, basically circus of flying monkeys in a perpetual civil war in my brain, are because I'm a neurospicy person trying to live in a neurotypical world, and I'm trying my best. It's made me view myself with more gentleness, and it's allowed me a lot of self-forgiveness, and with that self-forgiveness and self-acceptance comes a lot of healing. I'm just gonna take a black. This is a black from the Kaleidos Sci-Fi Green, and then I'm gonna put it right near the lash line because I'm not in the mood for liquid liner or liner period, but this makes my lashes pop from behind my glasses. So yeah, basically I've been missing trying to put myself back together in a semblance of a person. And the more I worked on inner child and inner parent, and the more I realized that other people are our mirrors, and the way we react to other people is a message for ourselves. And the reactions that we have, again, are kind of like messages from our inner selves about what we should be working on, or what upsets us, what we like, what we don't like, what we need versus what we don't need. The more I analyze my interpersonal relationships with my friends and with my coworkers and with my guy, the more I realize that the more I learned about myself, right? I also had like a huge problem with overthinking, because it's very easy to fall into the trap that if you're overthinking, you're working on yourself. You're not. You're just like a dog chasing its own tail. If you're not putting anything in action, and if you're just overthinking, then it's just your brain tricking you into staying this unproductive cycle of beating yourself up. And I was overthinking a lot about my relationships, about how I was perceived, about my identity, like in others' perspective. And eventually with therapy I realized that I'm trying to read social cues when there aren't any. I'm trying to mind read. I'm trying to mind read so hard that I'm reading things into it that maybe aren't there, and that I should just take people at face value. Like, I need to stop mind reading. I need to stop script making. I need to stop trying to read into everything that someone says just because it doesn't come natural to me to do the same, right? I just need to let people be people, and unless they're explicitly saying something, I'm not gonna read into it. It's done wonders for my mental peace. So yeah, that was up with me. I'm doing much better now, and I'm going to try and enjoy YouTube as much as I can and not fall into another trap of everything needs to be perfect. Because that was stopping me from doing a lot of my art-inspired stuff as well. I wanted it to be perfect. I wanted my script to be perfect. I wanted my look to be perfect. But like, sharing what you love with other people doesn't need to be perfect. I've been really loving the Maybelline Sky High mascara. It's really, really worth all of the hype that happened on TikTok. And I want to do a video about what the fuck is going on with beauty TikTok. Because what the hell? But I'm not gonna get into it now because I'm almost done with the look, and then we're gonna be here 100 years. And this video is like my comeback video. Listen, I've been thinking so hard about what I want my comeback video to be, but then I decided, who the fuck do I think I am? Britney Spears? Like, I don't need to have a perfect comeback. I just need to come on, say hi to you, and be back. That's it. Nobody's gonna grade my performance in a coming back video. And you know, with my new outlook on life, I decided to change myself as well. Like, I cut a bunch of my hair, I dyed it, or well, I went to someone to dye it because I don't have the fucking patience to cut and dye the broom that's my hair. Because there's a lot of cultures that posit that we keep a lot of our spiritual journey in our hair, a lot of our spiritual strength, and that with changing our hair we shed our past selves. And I thought, well, this is a new beginning for me, right? It's time for me to cut my hair and just start anew. And I'm thinking to getting a tattoo as well, maybe something with a snake, because snakes are big symbols for rebirth and spirituality and the hidden, and I think that would kind of feel like a snake and a dandelion, the flowers, those. Because like I want to be like a dandelion is, right? I want to be feral, untamable, unkillable in any way that matters, and I just want to embrace all of the cyclical ways that I go through life, like just like the dandelion does. Like a dandelion doesn't feel bad that it's yellow and then it's, you know, fluffy and puffy and out on the wind, right? It just accepts itself as it is. For blush, I'm going to use Nabla Lola because I'm feeling a pinky blush moment right now. Yeah, it kind of perfectly matches the look, doesn't it? I feel so pretty. Can't wait to go out. We're going to like a steakhouse type of place, and I'm not, you know, I'm not a big meat eater. If it's there, I will eat it. If it's not, I won't. But my guy loves a good steak, so it's his idea to go there on like a double date. You know what I hate though? I hate when people don't finish all of their meat in their plate and then toss it. Like, it's not as bad if they throw out like potatoes or tomatoes or, you know, something that wasn't living. But if you don't eat everything in your plate and then you toss it, or like don't give it to a pet or something, then that animal just partially died for nothing. It died for you to throw it in the trash, and I think that's just awful. I'm gonna try something new. I've got the Revolution Pro Sculpt and Glow in Desert Sands. I'm not gonna lie, I bought it just because of the imprint. It's super pretty. I can't wait to take some photos with it. I've not been completely gone. I've been on Instagram quite active in stories and stuff. And it's just been fun trying to be more casual with my Instagram. Because again, who the fuck do I think I am that I need to have a perfect feed? Like, it doesn't even matter anymore at this point. I just need to post. I just need to share what I want to do, share what I love with people. Nobody's gonna judge me if the quality isn't 4K HD. So if there's any lessons that I learned in my absence, is that perfectionism killed me. Perfectionism prevented me from living my life, and that cultivating a gentle, kind inner voice within yourself is so important. It's so important to have a good quality of life, to be able to live and do the things that you want to do. So important. I'm gonna put on a bit of lip balm. This is the Melkior Professional Lip Balm, and it's been my favorite lip balm for months now. My mom recommended it to me, and my mom just can't do wrong with makeup recommendations. So I forgot to hit record, but what I did was put on the Melkior Sugar Nude liquid lipstick, which is lovely color, annoying formula. It's so drying, but I paid money for it, and my rule is that I need to use an item as many times as I spend lei on it, which is the local currency, before I can consider tossing it or whatever, unless I plan to gift it to someone. And this one I paid, I think, 35 lei, so I need to use it 35 times before I can consider that I used it enough. It's a dumb mental rule. I know I'm not getting that money back. I know it's dumb. And to give it like a little bit of zhuzh, a little bit of extra hydration, and so it can match my look better, I'm going to put the Essence Shine 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 Gloss in 04 Flirt Alert. These are one of the best lip glosses on the market at any price point. Beautiful. So good. Time to put on my glasses so I can feel human again. I'm planning to go and get some eye surgery, like LASIK or whatever the newest tech is. And it's gonna be fun because eye contact with my glasses is fine. Without my glasses, it's torture, it's annoying. So it's gonna be fun to see how I interact with people afterwards. Anyway, I'm glad to be back. I'm going to start posting again. Expect some art-inspired videos. Expect some aesthetic-inspired shop my stashes, some ranty get ready with me's. I want to streamline my content. I want to do just what I enjoy doing, not just post a lot because this is what beauty YouTubers are supposed to do. I'm just gonna take it chill. I'm gonna just fall back in love with YouTube and fall back in love with this hobby just by doing what I love, if that makes sense. Anyway, Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I'll see you again next time. It's good to be back. Love y'all, missed y'all. I'm sorry I was gone. Anyways, back and better now. Okay, that's it. I'm just rambling. Bye. Take care.